I have a 2019 Ram 1500 with the 5.7 Hemi engine. These engines are known to have manifolds on them that crack, and mine is no different. I had to replace the manifolds on my Ram at 150,000 miles. I did the job myself and kept the old ones as a trophy. I'm curious to see if maybe I could have just welded up the old manifolds. So we're gonna give it a shot today. It's known to be hard to repair manifolds because they are cast iron, but that isn't going to stop us from giving it a shot, even though we're not going to be putting these back on the truck. I just want to see if it's at all possible to actually repair. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start by grinding out a gap between the crack with the grinder so that I have a place to lay some weld. I'm going to start out by maybe trying to weld with a stick and see if it's possible to do it that way. And if it is, good. If it's not, maybe we'll try and do it with MIG. See if we can find another tool that would be able to get in there. Grinder won't get in there, so. Well, we know we're not going to be using that bolt hole because it's not going on back on. So let's just cut it, and then maybe if we have to, just to say we did it, we'll weld the hole back up as well. Oh yeah, it's perfection right there. I like to weld outside because I get better ventilation. I'm going to be using E6011 rod. It's the one I use mostly for everything I do here in the shop. It's just the most versatile rod I've found that you can use for most things you have in the shop. If I recall correctly, this hole wasn't used for anything when bolted to the engine. But even with that slit in it, a bolt goes through it. And I think if it did bolt up to the engine, it would tighten up just fine, even with the slit in it. My welder can run off both a 110 and 220 outlet. Since I am right here next to my outlet for 220, I'm going to go ahead and use it. When I'm not around a power source, I use this generator on wheels, and it has both a 110 and a 220 outlet. I have two welding helmets, one from Chicago Electric and the other one from Miller. Both really good helmets. But today I'm going to be using a pair of tinted goggles so that both me and you can see. It's not the best thing or the right thing to use. I'm going to be wearing this flame retardant shirt and a pair of gloves. Alright, I got this welder set up at some settings that would be a good starting point. Don't laugh at me, I'm not really good at anything, so the best way to fail is to not try at all, so that's always my motto. Alright, I went around it with the welder, and as soon as I finished, it got a new crack. I don't recommend doing this. But while we have our equipment out, I thought it might be fun to continue to play with fire and cut this thing in half with a plasma cutter. My plasma cutter is the same brand as my stick welder, and it also uses a 110 and 220 power source. I had a former supervisor who told me a story of where the term shit came from. He said it came from old time shipping, when they used to haul crates and barrels of flammable liquids or product that put off gases. They put on the side of these boxes and barrels SHIT, which means ship high in transit. It eliminated the risk of gas building up in the bottom of the ships and catching fire. Well, having told you this story, shit has hit the fan. I go to hook up my compressed air hose to the plastic fitting for the air inlet on my plasma cutter, and it snaps off. Well, now here I am tearing it apart, looking for parts to attempt to repair it. When working through this shit, I got to thinking to myself, was there something else I could have done to have made the outcome of welding the cast iron manifold come out more in my favor? I looked online and I saw a few things. It said that cast iron is brittle and has high sulfur content, and this makes it more likely to crack when welding, and it is recommended in many different sources to preheat your work surface before you hit it with a welding rod. I got a serious problem, guys, and maybe you guys are facing the same problem I am. Who else goes to Harbor Freight for one item and leaves with $100 worth of stuff you didn't plan on buying? It's not only Harbor Freight I have a problem with when it comes to buying stuff not planned. I do the same thing at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Now tell me this, who else is up at 2 in the morning watching Power Nation on TV? You go to bed and the next morning you wake up with hundreds of dollars worth of power tools in your Amazon cart that was on the show. Maybe it's just me. back to where we started hours ago. Like most projects you do. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. According to Google, the best PSI to run your plasma cutter at is between 70 and 90 PSI. I like to run it right about 80. Now, I've never cut cast iron before, so I'm not quite sure where to put the setting at, so I'm just going to give it everything. Also, saying I've never cut cast iron before, I'm not sure how good the ground will be either. All right, here goes, guys. Now, you know, I do believe we're gonna have an exhaust leak here. Let's tap it and see if it goes. Not yet. We got a ridge right here that's holding it. Let's finish it off. Oh yeah, boy.